unlock the DNA so that I could potentialize as a human being. Yet I didn't know that at the time, and I didn't even think about the DNA. But she showed me that it's all about the DNA. So she gave me a solution, a couple of solutions. But before I get to the solutions, did you want to hear what she showed me, what's in the DNA?
Absolutely. Go right ahead and reveal the information that you have.
Okay. So once she gave me the solution, I was wearing this crystal that she downloaded a very high frequency overnight. I didn't charge the crystal, she did. So I had this crystal with me for about a month, and I was just taking a walk, and all this information flooded in my brain. And I did all this research and muscle testing after I received this information. And it's like a big can of worms. So what the crystal did was it deactivated the diffusers in the DNA that cause us not to even do any research or even to really look at the problem. So what I found was that most people know this. They basically control in the DNA. They control our aging. They also control death. They control disease. It's all actually implanted in the DNA that we age, that we die, and that we have disease. It's also programmed that we have dysfunction and subservience, that basically you're a slave, and reincarnation and karma, which I didn't think so before, because I thought this was just natural evolution. According to the DNA, they implanted in our DNA reincarnation and karma. What they did to our DNA is they put it's called a curse virus. These are satanic symbols. If you know what the Masonic handshake looks like, a lot of politicians, have that Masonic handshake. It's actually in our DNA. So when they're doing that, they know, oh yeah, we got control of them. So the curse virus is actually a right protection in the DNA that if any human being tried to deactivate it, you cannot. It is like a CD. If you have a CD and you right protect it, nobody can copy it. Well, that's what they put in the DNA. Therefore, the curse virus actually causes a human being to exist in a fear matrix and become a victim of the draconians. So the next thing I found, which was shocking, and I never heard about this information before, they input implants in our DNA. And we're talking about not thousands of implants, we're talking about billions of implants. And these implants control a lot of our behaviors, and they also control spirituality. They also set our DNA up so that we can't really potentialize and that we can't create our own authentic vocation. So that we just, we have to comply to the monetary system, whether you like it or not. And we need to, a lot of this is also spirituality is implanted. What we think is spiritual is basically, implants.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, let's go beyond this, though, at this point, because there are a lot of people that are moving out of the matrix, and they are activating some of their DNA, and they are becoming much more aware. And we also have people that are tapping into all sorts of things like the Akashic records, as you yourself are. So what is it that you are recommending that people do in order to activate their DNA? And to some degree, I believe you're also working with crystals, so you can also talk about that.
Oh, okay. So in order to deactivate the curse virus, it's not an easy process. And I want to diffuse a lot of illusions around this, because I thought before that my DNA was activated. I thought it was activated to 12-strand. And I will show people that this is not correct. A lot of people, crystal children, when you muscle test them and you ask, is your 12-strand DNA activated? It will say yes. The problem is, because of the implants in the DNA, muscle testing, the old style muscle testing, will not give you accurate information. So number one is to really understand reality and what is delusional thinking. And a lot of New Age information about the DNA is actually implant-based. It doesn't work. The reason I believe what the benevolent angel showed me works is because I have physical evidence that it actually restored my physical problems. It also restored my bioorganic body so that I don't reincarnate anymore on alien-based civilizations, and so that I'm not a slave. When you muscle test any person, even a saint, guru, it will say, slave race, aging and reincarnation. It is programmed in the DNA. And there's very little information that is actually effective, or models that are effective in the New Age, because it's all implant-based. So I'm trying to stress that because the DNA has been severely exploited, there's very little solutions, because people don't understand what's actually in the DNA, and it diffuses real solutions. Unless you really experience real-life solutions, I wouldn't trust any type of model. So what I'm trying to say...
I hear you. So what is the solution that you're using? And I understand that you have, what you feel is proof that it works. But what actually is the solution?
Well, there's many solutions, but it's according to what I see. I've seen other DNA experts and researchers, and I muscle tested their bioorganic body, and there's no results. It's implant-based. I did get 10% clear in the DNA, but that's the tip of the iceberg. And then on top of it, I didn't realize back then, it's implant-based. If you muscle test, and if it says implant-based, it's not working. So what I'm trying to encourage, if you don't know how to muscle test, that's another aspect. But if you do know how to muscle test, you will have to go one step further, ask, is this implant-based? Now, my solution that I give credit to the benevolent angel that has shown me, because in my belief, knowing how the DNA is actually locked, it's not an easy process. You really need the assistance of a guide in order to be able to deactivate the DNA alterations. So what I provide is basically the angel downloads a very high frequency in the crystal that deactivates the curse virus. It deactivates dysfunction, aging, death in the bioorganic body. And I've studied the bioorganic body and how they condition and control us in society. And when you muscle test, you will see that the bioorganic body is actually already mind-controlled. And we are brainwashed to think that only our thoughts are going to make us, propel onto the next level where our DNA is actually activated. And this is, again, implant-based. If you use kinesiology, you will find that this is implant-based information. And they actually implant DNA researchers and metaphysical teachers all this implant-based information that is actually, again, draconian language. So there's a lot of information. I'm trying to first deactivate the illusions and for a person to really see the reality. once you get to reality, then you can basically